Hi there. Welcome, welcome, welcome to day two of the King's Challenge. It was such a joy to connect with you men yesterday and really help share some important insights on how your energy may be working for you and might be working against you. And we're happy to join you back again for day two of the King's Challenge. If you don't know who I am, my name is Zach Bowles, co-founder, co-creator of Game and Thriving. And this is
Andrew Sartori.
my lovely husband, the other co-founder and co-creator of Gay Man Thriving. So I see many of you are here joining us today. We covered a lot of information yesterday. It could have been pretty heavy. It's about understanding the energetic patterns that are keeping you stuck. And sometimes this isn't really fun to hear, but I want to remind you, awareness is power. Without it, we just stay stuck in the same patterns over and over again. But there is only so much we can do with awareness. And today is about taking action. It's about helping you know exactly what you need to do so that you can start embodying more of your big king energy so that you can start creating the relationship you desire. Who's eager to jump in? Type ready in the chat if you are eager to jump in and get started. All right, here we go. So before we dive in, I want to take a moment to reflect on yesterday's session. How many of you started noticing where you've been in caregiver or guarded energy? Type caregiver or guarded in the chat if you could relate and see yourself in either of those two major self-sabotaging patterns. Type caregiver if you find yourself typically over functioning, people pleasing, self sacrificing, falling into that energy of putting other people's needs ahead of your own to your own detriment. Type caregiver in the chat and type guarded if you sometimes let fear of past hurts impact how you show up in the present. If you're afraid of being judged and rejected or taken advantage of, and if you close yourself off and talk yourself out of things, if you hide behind a wall to keep yourself safe, type guarded in the chat. Yeah, I'm seeing quite a combination of both caregiver and guarded. I want to ask you, how did it feel to see your patterns so clearly? How did it feel to understand how these energetic frequencies are impacting not only how you feel, but how people feel when they're with you? To understand the way you're showing up energetically reacts with other people's energy. And as we demonstrated yesterday, it wasn't until Andrew broke out of his caregiver energy before I realized that I needed to take some action with my taker energy. How does it feel to notice that the way you're showing up is very, very, very significant in how other people feel about you and how other people treat you? Yeah, Michael says enlightened but also scary. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's always going to be easier to kind of blame gay men, blame society, blame the world for why we don't have what we want, but we actually all have much more power than we might realize. And that's why this weekend retreat or workshop is so important in helping you understand the power that you possess, no matter how old you are, no matter where you live, no matter what you look like, no matter what you've been through. You have the power to choose how you show up in every moment. Does that make it easy? Not necessarily. It's simple, but it's not easy. And we want to help you be able to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Jerry says, my guy and I are classic caretaker guarded combos. Yeah, we bring out the energy in other people, and it either repels them or attracts them to us. And when we understand how energy works more clearly, we really do have the keys to our kingdom. And that's why we call this experience the King's Challenge, because we want you to rule your world, rule your reality as the king that you were born to be. Because awareness is the first step, but insight alone doesn't change your reality. That's why today is about transformation, creating the energetic shift that will allow you to step into the love and connection that you crave. It's so important to recognize we're infinitely complex beings. We all have parts of us. And I'm really glad Andrew brought up the fact that caregiver energy isn't inherently bad or wrong. And there's no good or bad in energy. It's just an energetic pattern. And what we're speaking to is when it's out of balance. Because reducing your caregiver energy doesn't mean becoming a dick and not caring about people or even doing nice things. Like that's a part of many of your superpower. But it's when you let that go to a place of self-sacrificing, neglecting your own needs and desires, and worrying so much about how other people feel and what they think that you silence yourself, you bottle things up, you walk on eggshells, and you try to change yourself into who you think other people want you to be. Because when you go that far, you're dishonoring yourself and you're no longer in caregiver energy with yourself. You're no longer caring and prioritizing yourself. And so it's about having the balance. And Andrew was able to notice having these pesky thoughts, but able to reframe them. And that's a really important skill that we teach our clients in energetic attraction coaching.
And one last thing I just want to add, I also knew that Zach is so high vibe, he's so conscious. Even if he was upset or sad, Zach's gonna be working on his own energy
Yeah.
first before he lashes out at me, even if he was upset.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I just really love about our relationship too. But we also know a lot of relationships aren't that way,
Yeah.
where both people are so clear on wanting to be in their best
Yeah,
energy.
we treat each other like kings, but not in a way where we're not treating ourselves like kings as well. And we each are responsible for our own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And when we're in this elevated state of harmony and balance in our relationship, if one of us is upset, we don't need to meet them there to be supportive and kind and compassionate to the other. There's a lot of advanced skills and tools that we teach our clients in our advanced programs, which we'll talk a little bit about later today. But for now, I want to really jump into diving into the energy of creating a vision. Jerry says, but what happens when you try and express your needs and your partner does not respond in a positive way? Yeah, it's up to your partner to be responsible for his thoughts, feelings, and reactions. And it's also up to you to manage your energy no matter what's going on outside of you. And a big king energy isn't reactive to things that don't go as planned, that don't go the way that he would want them to. And we can never predict how people will respond or react to us. But a part of being in your big king energy is not is being in an unshakable confidence and security in yourself. Kind of like Andrew did, for example. He had the thought, maybe Zach's mad at me, maybe he's upset, maybe something's wrong. I didn't react in the way Andrew wanted. He probably wanted me to say, "Awesome pick, honey, that's hot, I'm drooling," and respond to him in a loving way. But he took responsibility for his emotions by seeing the full scope of possibilities.
And I think it might even be more helpful to talk about the past because it wasn't always this way. There were many times when I would share a desire and Zach did not respond lovingly.
Mhm.
And it was all up to me to hold my energy and
Yeah, and
yeah,
and
it's
not only communicate like what is and isn't, like what we are and aren't available for, but yeah, to have standards and requirements. It's like we want to invite people to meet us in a higher energetic frequency. For those of you in a relationship, if you're noticing the spark isn't there and the communication isn't there and that mutual desire and respect isn't there, it's about you embodying big king energy to where your partner can see that you're not available for the bullshit that you might have been available for in the past. It's a learning curve for you both, but it's an invitation for them to meet you in a higher frequency. And they become aware that if they don't meet you there, then you're not going to be waiting around because you're not doing the same dance. That's what happened in our dynamic. I could see that Andrew was no longer going to tolerate me taking him for granted and taking advantage of him and not respecting him and not really trying or putting in
Mhm.
the effort. I could see that that was no longer something he was going to tolerate, not because of his words, but because of the energy that I could see him embodying, and I could feel our relationship slipping away. And that's when I had to make the choice. Do I do the inner work and reflect, and do I change, or do I move on because we weren't doing the same dance anymore? And so I really want to move on to the visioning exercise. We could talk about this for quite a while. But I really want to jump into helping support you all. I hope that answers your question, Jerry. And I want to jump into creating a bold vision for your kingdom. I want to help support you to get clear on what your ideal relationship looks like and feels like so that you can start laying the foundation for the connection that you desire. So I want all of you to join me in closing your eyes if you feel comfortable. I want you to take a deep breath. Make sure you're sitting in a comfortable spot with your feet flat on the floor, shoulders back, chest up. We're going to begin with just some slow, deep breaths in through the nose, feeling your chest and lungs and belly expanding with air, and then slowly letting it out your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. Just really tuning into this present moment. And as you find your own natural rhythm, the deep restorative breath, tuning into a place of centeredness, groundedness, I want to invite you on a journey, exploring your future relationship with yourself and other people. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine as you continue breathing that you've done the inner work, that you have learned the tools and skills to embody your big king energy, where you have an unshakable presence, a sense of trust, of confidence, of empowerment, where you know that you are good enough, you know that you are worthy, and you know that there is nothing that you have to do to prove your worth or prove your value because it is so inherent. Really tune into an embodiment of self-love and self-trust, where you respect yourself and you have very high standards for what you want to be experiencing each day. With your eyes closed, I want you to envision the connection you desire with a partner that you love and adore, a partner that you feel reciprocates and returns your love equally in a balanced, healthy way, where you're both loving and supporting and being there for one another while also equally being there for yourself. What does that relationship look like? Imagine it's a regular weekend together. What do you want to be experiencing with your partner? What are the small day-to-day moments? Maybe it's the morning cuddles and kisses. Maybe it's the subtle glances as you meet each other halfway in the hallway or across the room where you just know, I choose you. Maybe it's the meals, the movies, the walks on the beach, the vacations. What is it that you most desire to experience and feel with your partner, with this man you adore, with this man you cherish and crave? What do you want to be experiencing? How does he show up for you? How does he respond to you when you've had a long day? How does he show up for you when you're in an amazing mood on top of the world? How do you feel in his presence? How do you and your partner communicate? How do you talk to one another? And how do you feel when you're experiencing all of this? The connection, the intimacy, the conversation, the physical touch, the experiences, the adventures, the really normal, everyday moments. Really, really tune into how you're feeling about yourself and how you're feeling when you're with your partner. And while it's really easy to imagine all the smooth, loving, gentle moments, I also want you to think about how you're handling conflicts. Being in your big king energy, an embodiment of self-trust, self-respect, self-love, full self-expression, ruling your kingdom with grace and power and compassion. When a disagreement between you and your partner arises, which they will, how do you respond? How do you respond when you're not seeing eye to eye? Do you withdraw? Do you overcompensate? Do you apologize and walk on eggshells to try to keep the peace? Or from an empowered, centered, grounded energy, do you assert your perspective? Do you share your thoughts? Do you ask questions with an open mind? Do you stand grounded in your truth? What would it feel like to handle conflict with someone you love, someone you adore, with confidence and clarity? Really tune into all of the dynamics of being in a relationship, the complexities. In my experience, nothing pushes our buttons quite like romantic relationships where you share all parts of yourself with another person. How does it feel to embody your big king energy that's inside of each and every one of you? It's already a part of you. And imagining you've learned how to fully access it, how does it feel to navigate all the harmonious moments, the joys, the connection, the love, the intimacy, the passion, the romance, the pleasure, and the disagreements, and the different perspectives? How does all that feel? I want you to join me in taking one more deep, deep, deep breath in through the nose, feeling your lungs and chest and belly expanding with air. Deepest breath of the whole day. And once you've taken in as much air as you can, pull in a few more sips of air. Hold it. Slowly let it out through your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. And when you feel ready, slowly open your eyes. Gently come back to this present moment. And I want you to share with me what came up with you. Please type in the chat. What did that feel like? What did you just experience? I'd love to hear from some of you. What did you notice about the way you felt? Most importantly, Ian says joy, energy, openness. Beautiful, beautiful. Who else has something you'd like to experience, like to share about that? About that vision that is completely possible for you with the right understanding, awareness, the right support, the right tools. Jerry says peace, contentment. Logan says it brought me to tears. It felt safe and whole. Logan, it's because this is completely possible for you. Whether you're single or in a relationship, this type of connection is not something that you only deserve, but something you are capable of experiencing. Each and every one of you have all of the ingredients necessary to experience this strength and power and love and magnetism. Michael says calmness, but also a foreign feeling. Yeah, it makes sense. We tapped into something some of you may not have experienced yet. In fact, most gay men don't experience. That's why the work we do here at Gay Men Thriving is so powerful and important. Steve says fulfillment of long felt desires. Beautiful, Steve. Lean into those desires. Your desires are your North Star. Desire is the strongest force that will pull us away from fear and conflict, the unknown. When our desire is pure and we trust that we can create that, we will pave that path forward. I'm hearing some anxiety regarding the conflict. I've never been in a long-term relationship. My parents are always in conflict. Yeah, I'm worried about the energy could come during conflict. It takes practice. Andrew and I are still mastering this. He had a moment of anxiety just yesterday, imagining a conflict that didn't even exist. I still have to catch myself, and I've learned the tools and skills to communicate courageously and from an empowered place. Because I think the comment Austin shared was just for us. You guys can't see it, but my family was, we would scream at each other from across the house. It was just a part of the way we communicated. But I learned right away that did not mesh well with Andrew. And I had to learn to be less reactive and more responsive, more mindful of how I'm interpreting each situation. What am I making it mean? And how do I want to respond? And in that millisecond, if we give ourselves that pause, this is just highlights of a really powerful tool I teach our clients. But learning how to respond mindfully is a really beautiful part of Big King energy. We're not reacting out of fear or anger. We notice something's coming up for us and we give ourselves some spaciousness to pause and reflect. This is how Andrew and I turn conflicts and bumps in the road into beautiful opportunities to learn to explore each other more deeply and understand each other more deeply, seeing each other as infinitely complex beings that are constantly growing and evolving. This is why I can look at this man I've been with for nearly 9 years with curiosity, with wonder, which is the secret ingredient to a fiery, erotic connection that's fueled by the mystery and the unknown. And we both have that because of our ability to access Big King energy, which we're going to help share the pathway to stepping into more of that for each of you. So I want to take a moment to compare this vision, this beautiful vision that you just stepped into. And I really hope you could feel and taste that connection with that man that just loves and adores you, who you can look and gaze into his eyes and just feel that safety and wonder simultaneously. It's such a beautiful thing. And now that you visualize the relationship, is there something you
Yeah,
want to share?
yeah, one more before we do the next thing, if you can tune back into that energy, how how does your life feel richer? Like how does your life feel richer and more expansive if you can experience more of that feeling? Because ultimately this is more about you and your life above everything else. So how, if you're experiencing more of that, what you said, joy and peace, calmness, fulfillment, felt safe and whole, fulfillment of long-term desires. Like just when you had that and expand that even more, how do you see that enhancing your life
Mm,
as a whole?
yeah.
How do you see that enhancing your entire life situation?
Hmm. It's such a treasure. It's my most valued treasure,
Mm.
what I have with you.
Mm.
Mm, beautiful. Thanks for sharing, honey.
Mhm.
What a great point. And now we want to talk about now that you visualize the relationship and version of yourself that you desire to step into, an embodiment of your Big King energy. And visualization is really the pathway to creating it. It's the first step on the path. I want to take a moment to tune into where you are right now. And I want to ask you, and feel free to share in the chat answers to any of these questions. Where are you still most out of alignment with that vision? For those of you that said it felt foreign and felt uncomfortable, what are the parts that felt most foreign or even maybe felt impossible to you? In what ways do you feel like, and Austin shared so beautifully where he's afraid that he might be more reactive during conflicts. What part of that vision feels foreign or out of alignment with where you currently are? If you were already embodying Big King energy, handling conflict with ease, standing up for yourself, feeling deeply loved and cherished, feeling like your partner was pouring into you without you needing to chase, What would be different? And what would that feel like? Type in the chat, what would that feel like for you? I want you to ask yourself, what are the actions that you're taking right now in your daily life? How do you currently respond when conflict arises? How do you currently react during a disagreement or a misunderstanding? How do you currently feel when these things happen? Michael says, I run. Yeah, it's a really common energetic pattern. Typically, when we're not able to access these higher levels of frequency of energy, your big king energy, yeah, a lot of times we're going to either shut down or distract ourselves. Albert says, calm, take a step back and process first. Very mindful response. Austin says, I feel as if I deal with conflict imperfectly, but decently. Ian says, I step back and pause and reflect. If you're single, how do you feel when the guys you're interested in don't reciprocate? What do you do? Mike says, shut down, keep stuff to myself. Yeah, bottle things up. For those of you who are single, how do you feel when you put yourself out there? You try to connect with a guy that you really like or you really want to, and you either talk yourself out of it because you're afraid and guarded, or you try and he doesn't seem interested. How does that feel? Yeah, hurt, but now I move on, shut down. What do you do when this happens? Or if you're in a relationship, how do you feel when you feel neglected by your partner, when you feel unappreciated by your partner, when you feel like your partner isn't interested or isn't prioritizing you or intimacy or connection? What do you do when this happens? And are those feelings and actions in alignment with the version of yourself that you just visualized? Yeah, Mike says, hurt, unworthy, I feel resentful. Yeah, and I'm wondering, Michael, when you feel that way, what do you do? He says, I haven't dated in years out of fear. Really common pattern. Austin says, pretty awful. I was really excited about launching a profile on Hinge last week, yet it feels like I got no attention. Logan says, my nervous system shuts down. Yeah, we're all programmed for survival. We're all programmed to try to learn from the past so that we can avoid pain in the present. This is the very thing that blocks us from accessing our big king energy. The self-doubt, the fear, the protection, coming from an energy of safety and survival. This will help us get by, but that's what fuels that guarded, protective energy that blocks us from really putting ourselves out there and trying. And a caveat that makes it even more complex is not everyone is going to pick up what we're putting down. You might put that Hinge profile out there and not get as many responses as you like, but think about how it impacts you when you focus on the lack of comments and you focus on that feeling of rejection or lack or less than, how that impacts your efforts, how that impacts the way you show up. And anything else you'd like to share, honey?
Yeah. Another question, and yeah, I see the comment coming away from someone that I was totally in love with, from Steve, but turned out to be a narcissist, would tell me he loved me, but in the end it was all about what I could do and give to him and offer the money.
Hmm.
Yeah, very, very common pattern. And we know foolproof ways to make sure stuff like this doesn't ever happen again. And but before that, I like to take the big picture view again. So if you can look back at what you were wanting, what you wanted to feel, and we're more about the feeling where it's joy, peace, calmness, a sense of fulfillment, right? When Zach lived that beautiful, gorgeous, guided, energetic process for you. Um, So you already answered this question in some ways, but there might be something even bigger that's great for you to be aware of. So is there another major place in your life right now where you are not feeling that, where you're maybe feeling the opposite? of the joy and peace or the fulfillment, um, the calmness, the safety? Is there another place where you are feeling the opposite of that right now? Anything else come to you? And it might not even have anything to do with romantic relationships, but anywhere else in your life. And I would love to see if you have any thoughts in the chat.
Yeah, I think you could be more specific.
Okay, not sure I understand the question. So, where in your life would you say you feel, if you go back to what you said, um, about joy and you were feeling joy and peace. Um, where in your life are you not feeling that big king energy? What situations, what scenarios specifically are
Hmm.
you not feeling that big king energy of that power, that peace, that calm, that joy?
Hmm.
Where are you not feeling it? Yeah, great. Searching for a condo.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. And this isn't about shame or judgment. This is about awareness. Awareness of where we are in a big
Mm,
imbalance. Michael says, I have a challenging relationship with my son. Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Mm,
Yeah. And I'd love for each of you to take a moment to really reflect on where you feel most out of alignment with your big king energy, where you feel that you fall into patterns of giving your power away out of fear, whether it's fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of embarrassment, fear of failure.
family relationships, another comment from
Yeah.
Mike.
What area of your life do you feel that you self-sacrifice, people please, overgive, overcompensate? Where do you feel that you let those feelings of lack, self-doubt, insecurity be a primary factor in how you show up? Jerry says, as an older gay man having come out recently, I feel a sense of mortality and desire to experience the gay life with my new monogamous partner. Mike says, church settings. Ian says, I have issues with social interactions. Yeah, I want you to think about what are the what are the thoughts, what are the beliefs that come up for you in these situations? What are you most afraid of? What are you most worried about that causes you to either shut down or avoid or overthink, which is one very common response, or that causes you to try too hard to overcompensate to make up for wherever you feel there's a sense of lack?
Yeah.
Because in both cases, these two behaviors are almost always going to prevent you from what you actually want.
I'd love to see in the chat if you're willing to share. What are you most afraid of in the challenging relationship with your son, with the family dynamics, the family relationships? What are you most afraid of with the social interactions? What are you most afraid of at the church settings? What are you most afraid of about the condo searching process?
Yeah. Naming these fears is a really important part of the process. Rejection, fear of hurting others, keeping the peace. Yeah. And Mike, what would it mean if you were rejected or if someone was hurt because of your actions, if you didn't keep the peace? What are you making that mean? Yeah, keeping the peace with my son.
Yeah. So there's fears of losing the peace. There's fears of not succeeding. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, and the reason I wanted to ask these questions is because again, this is about you and your life as a whole. So the patterns that are having things feel challenging and unpeaceful with your family, guaranteed these will show up with any relationship that you're dating someone. And so when we serve guys, when we coach guys, a lot of people historically hire us because they're prioritizing the love life and they want to have love life breakthroughs. So many times we're coaching them on family dynamics, business dynamics,
Yeah.
because all of the things that are giving you stress right now, these are places where you're giving your power away,
Hmm.
where you're giving your power to what other people think, what other people, how other people view you, feeling responsible for other people's happiness.
Yeah.
And this is what we love to help you break out of and flip from this to so you can have big king energy and all of the relationships with your family, with social interactions,
Hmm.
also in money, all of the things. It's wherever you go, there you are.
Exactly, exactly. So this is really the moment where you get to see the difference between where you are currently and where you want to be. Like where you most desire to feel, how you want to feel, what you want to be experiencing versus where you are right now. And this is exactly why what we're talking about is so important, why the work that we do at Game and Thriving is so important.
Yes. So let me ask you this. Would you like me to share like the five big pieces that have helped so many of our clients move from the stressed out, not feeling as powerful as they can to just that big king energy?
Type a five in the chat if
Yeah.
you want to learn about the roadmap to really accessing your big king energy, from getting from where you are to where you want to be. Type five in the chat if you're ready
Yay.
to learn about the roadmap, the path forward.
Okay, great.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So,
Lots of fives. Awesome. You're in the right place.
and here's the thing, this is actually really simple. We've seen this work time and time again with ourselves and with everybody we work with who does the work with integrity. But that also doesn't mean it's always easy. So before I even name them, it's going to require some courage. It often requires some leaps of faith because just as someone brilliantly said, I felt so calm in the visualization, but it also felt a sense of foreignness. Now, here are the five things that we support people with to align their energy to really be in that big king energy. Again, everywhere you go. So the first one, and we've already been doing a lot of this too, just so you know, on the King's Challenge. The first one is gaining awareness of your current energetic patterns, being aware of the things that you're doing that are causing you to create situations that you no longer desire to keep repeating over and over again. Once you have that awareness, it's about being aware and also accepting it, accepting yourself, not beating yourself up, not judging yourself. You are human. You have thinking patterns that you've had for a long time. So embracing yourself where you are today and being aware of exactly where you are. And so that's what we wanted to help you do already with the seeing the caregiver energy and the guarded energy and there are other energies we haven't talked about a whole lot, like the victim energy and the settling energy, which victim energy often shows up when people are trying to get their conflicts resolved. So you
Mhm.
don't want that either.
And
Um,
they're all connected as well.
they're all connected, and like we also talked about, there's many layers.
Yes, yes.
So
And not all parts of each energy is good or bad. It's all energy, but it's about awareness of your energetic patterns, awareness of how you're showing up in different scenarios. And you might notice you're way more confident at work and building money and wealth and other areas, but when it comes to romantic, intimate relationships, that confidence might not be there. It's about awareness. It's about accepting yourself where you are without shame or judgment, but also tuning into your desire of what you do want. And that's how we learn by contrast, not by beating ourselves up or making ourselves wrong and giving up, but really being aware of what we want. That's why we did this visioning exercise earlier. I want each of you to tap into your purest desires and make that decision that that's what I'm having. And
mhm.
then you start going to a place of how do I get there? So that's the first step,
Yeah,
awareness.
first step's awareness. The second step is amplify your strengths. Like amplify, increase the strengths you already have. And what I mean by this is like you are already an incredible person. You are already a man with a huge heart. You have so much to offer. There's no one on planet Earth like you. I honestly think there's no one on planet Earth that is more worthy of love than you, that is more capable of experiencing beautiful richness, a wonderful life in the way that you choose. It's really simple. And then carrying that forward, allowing yourself to lead with who you are and owning your strength, owning your brilliance. And when you're doing this, when you're loving yourself, other people will be drawn to you for who you actually are.
Absolutely. And we have to remember we can't bypass the wounds and the fears and the doubts and the insecurities. This is something a lot of people will try to do, which is just kind of pretend that those things aren't there, and then they come and bite us in the ass later. We have to be willing to run towards the fire and really face the fears, face the insecurities, really look at these self-doubts and these insecurities and begin questioning them, begin picking apart our buttons that will continue getting pushed until we learn to dismantle them. And that is a very specific and very methodical process, but it's about giving yourself permission to really question those fears, question those doubts, question those insecurities so that you can build a stable foundation to build your empire upon. And that's where you get to lean into your strengths, lean into your qualities, and have an unshakable confidence. Do you understand what I say by unshakable? It means believing in yourself even when the guy says, no thanks, I'm not interested in dating you. Having an unshakable confidence when you talk to someone that you really like and they don't treat you well. It's having an unshakable sense of self-trust no matter what's going on around you. And that means we have to dismantle our buttons, our insecurities, our fears, our doubts, so that they don't take up so much of our power. And from that place, leaning into your strengths, leaning into your unique brilliance. This is what we call energetic attraction. It's learning how to embody your big king energy no matter what's going on around you. And from that place of security and trust and empowerment, you inspire people to meet you there. You pique their curiosity. You draw them to you. And no longer are you drawing out the selfish, narcissistic takers who want to take advantage of your kindness and generosity because they see you crumbling and overgiving and bending over backwards and self-sacrificing and people-pleasing. Because when you're embodying your big king energy, you're not available for that. It's not even an option to you. You wouldn't even consider sacrificing your needs, sacrificing yourself. Doesn't mean that you're not thoughtful, kind, and generous, but it means you're equally thoughtful, kind, and generous to yourself. That is the balance. That is the self-mastery that comes with this second step. And from there, it's about aligning your action and communication with what you truly want. This is where we meet the energetic path that you've done, the dismantling of the buttons and the fears and the insecurities, the acceptance of your energetic patterns and the work to face them, building the unshakable confidence and self-trust and self-love, the security in yourself, becoming a secure, independent gay man that you are, minus those fears and doubts. And then it's learning the skills and tools to put it all together, to learn the advanced communication skills, to navigate conflicts with ease, to feel comfortable and courageous communicating your wants, your needs, your desires, setting healthy boundaries and standing by those boundaries. There's an art to all of this. Does it make sense why you could have scripts of the things to say? Like so many gay men come to me and it's just like, I don't know what to say to guys. And while I could give you the magic words, if you're not embodying your big king energy, it really doesn't matter what you say because it's all a performance, it's all an act, and people can feel that. But once you embody that energy and you learn how to really teach people how to treat you by learning the skills and tools to communicate and express yourself freely and fully, that's where it all comes together.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So the first step was getting aware of your patterns, and this also includes learning how to not give power to the ones that you don't want to keep. Second one was amplifying your strength, owning your strengths even more. The third one is aligning your action and communication with what you want. And Zach said that brilliantly because, yeah, you want to be able to just speak authentically without needing someone to tell you what to say all the time. And the fourth one is we'll just these we'll run through these really quick. The next two the fourth one is having guides, having a support system, having a structure, having mentors to serve you.
Through each stage.
Yes, because guess what? Remember, we're talking about helping you thrive as much as possible. That's what this is about. Owning your big king energy. And you know what the best kings have? The best kings have the best advisors. The wisest kings are wise enough to know that they don't have all of the answers on their
And
own.
they have blind spots. We all do.
Yes. And so that's the fourth one. Really simple. Like hire, invest in, use your resources to have advisors, to have people that can check your back,
Yeah.
that can help you create the plans, stay on track to ruling your kingdom in the way that serves you the most, where you feel like you're thriving as much
Right,
as
right. I
possible.
mean, I have no regrets because I'm in my big king energy, but if I would have had an advisor or guides or mentors to teach me these things when I went through so much just two steps forward, five steps back, the trial and error where I just had to just dig my way out of this deep, dark, energetic hole with no path, with no guidance, with no support. I can't imagine how different things would be for me today in terms of my growth and my evolution. It's so beautiful when we gift ourselves. It's a luxury. We get to gift ourselves to really fast track our progress, to fast track our growth because we can read all the books and, you know, join all the things, but it's different when we have someone there who believes in us, who's done the work, who can guide us to the place that we want to be. It just takes all of the guesswork and so much of the pain
Mhm.
out of that growth process.
And we would not be where we are today if we didn't hire our own advisors
Oh
and
my
our own
gosh.
support staff.
Right, right.
We just wouldn't.
No.
I can say that with 100% confidence.
And what's the fifth? What's the fifth step?
Having a thriving community of like-minded people that are going on the journey with you. Um, a lot of these concepts we're talking about, they're not things maybe your friends are talking about or your colleagues are talking about. You're certainly not hearing a lot of these principles being talked about on the news.
Right.
And it can be so easy to feel like you're trying to do these things on your own. Like, does this stuff actually work? Because I don't see other people doing this stuff. And when you're surrounded by other people that are learning these things, that are implementing them, that are celebrating wins, that are asking questions that maybe you didn't think to ask, but once they asked it and you hear the answer, you're so glad that they asked and that they were there. It helps the journey be a lot more fun. It helps the journey be a lot more exhilarating to have allies, have confidants, and that's also been a key part to my success as well, having community, having people on a similar journey.
Yeah, yeah, well said. So those are the five steps. And what I want to really emphasize is because when you don't address the energetic misalignments, the caregiver energy, the guarded energy, the self-doubt and the insecurity of the victim energy, the settling energy, when you don't address the misalignments and the lack of balance, you continue to fall into these cycles of overgiving, shrinking, guarding your heart, chasing after love that isn't meeting you fully. You might even try to communicate how much you like the guy or how much you want your partner to step up. When you're not embodying your big king energy, they don't see you as someone to take seriously. They are going to call you on your bluff. And that energetic pattern that you're exuding, no matter what you're saying, is going to keep teaching them that they can expect you to always bail on your desires or bail on your boundaries. But the good news is you don't have to stay stuck. These are the exact issues we solve for our clients. That's why when we go through our proven three-pillar system, you're easily able to move away from caregiver and guarded energy and step into your big king energy. This is how you create the loving morning routines, the deep connection, the beautiful Friday night dates where your partner is showing up for you, not because you begged for it, but because he feels drawn to your energy. So I have to ask you, do you want to know about our proven system that helps you do this at Gay Man Thriving? Type yes in the chat if you would like to learn more about our proven system that helps gay men achieve the level of joy and fulfillment and peace and harmony and reciprocity. How do you say it?
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity, reciprocal energy, where you don't have to beg, you don't have to overgive, you don't have to be anything other than your most authentic, grounded self to feel
Love it
that
right there.
love and to feel that connection. Awesome. I'm seeing some yeses. Well, in energetic attraction coaching, we teach you the exact skills, tools, and processes, a proven system that has helped hundreds of gay men move from caregiver and guarded energy into the place of wholeness, solidness, self-trust, and self-respect, teaching them how to embody their most powerful magnetic selves. This shift allows you to communicate your needs, your desires without fear of rejection, to teach others how to treat you, and to naturally command the respect, admiration, and desire you deserve because you're embodying that energy. Here's what most people don't realize. Not many coaches are focusing on this. Most mainstream dating and relationship advice and programs, they tell you what to do, what to wear, what to say, how to act, or they just have you focus on law of attraction. But none of that matters if your energy is out of alignment. If you're not embodying big king energy, those tactics won't work. That's why what we do in energetic attraction coaching is different. It's about transforming who you are, not just what you do. This is an energetic shift. And if you don't have the energy, it doesn't matter what you look like, what you say, or how you act. It doesn't matter how much you meditate or journal. It doesn't matter where you go or what you do. Without the energy aligned, you're going to find yourself experiencing the same things over and over again. This is the proven process we've created to help you step into your big king energy. Otherwise, you'll keep repeating the same stressful and unfulfilling cycles of caregiving and guarding, wondering why nothing is getting better. Here's the truth. You can't just think your way into big king energy. If it were that simple, you would have already made that shift. You would already be living that beautiful vision that you stepped into earlier today. This is why when we work with clients, we teach them and walk them through step by step a proven system that makes this transformation inevitable. Right now, you might feel like you're constantly chasing love, overgiving, questioning your worth, or maybe you feel like you're never really truly seen, desired, or prioritized the way that you want to be. Or maybe you're stuck in old patterns, guarding your heart, avoiding tough conversations, settling for less than you deserve. Now, I want you to take a moment to reconnect with what brought you here in the first place. What made you decide to join us for the King's Challenge? I want you to think about the type of life and relationship that you want to cultivate for yourself, regardless of whether you're single or in a relationship right now. If you could embody Big King energy in the next 6 to 12 months, how would that feel? Really tune into that. This is your one life in this one body. Imagine in the next 6 to 12 months, fully stepping into and embodying your Big King energy. What would that feel like for you? Think about how much time, energy, and effort you would save. How much deeper would your connections become? How much more confident and fulfilled would you be? How much more desire and fulfillment would you experience if you were given the exact tools to step into Big King energy and create that aura? That is exactly what our signature program has been designed for. In just 3 months, we equip you with the knowledge, the coaching, and the skill mastery so that you can walk out of this program as a new version of yourself. You'll no longer fall into people pleasing. You'll no longer bend over backwards just to be seen. You'll no longer chase after others to fill your needs. You'll no longer feel guarded or closed off to the men who could really be great for you. Instead, you'll know that you're worthy of love and find that dates become easy and more enjoyable. Your energy will repel, take your energy in others and attract reciprocal love. You'll start seeing men eager to meet you halfway and prioritize your intimacy, quality time, and connection. You'll feel deeply in tune with one another. You'll no longer be stuck in your head, questioning yourself, wondering where you went wrong. So if this is speaking to you right now, and if you're dedicated, if you're committed to spending 3 months learning these skills, learning how to chip away and dismantle the buttons and the fears and the insecurities and the doubts, to accept and align and be able to step into your big king energy, to build that self-confidence, that self-trust, to learn the communication skills, to put it all together, to have the reciprocal balance, meaningful connections that Andrew and I have, and so many of our countless clients are also experiencing, then I invite you to fill out this application to receive the details. I'm typing the application in the chat. I invite you to click on this link, save it for later, fill this out after this call, and I invite you to fill this out and schedule a call with me. Let's chat. I want you to be one of the hundreds of men we've worked with over the last 7 years who have transformed their love lives by stepping into this work and experienced this for themselves. And not only have we continued to improve this program, we're offering at a lower price than ever before. Ian says, having already worked with Zach and Andrew with energetic attraction, I can recommend investing the time and money. It certainly sorted out a lot of issues I had. I'm still on the journey towards having the best of life, and these 2 sessions have been a great refresher. Awesome, Ian. I'm so proud of you. It's been such a joy working with you and supporting you. What was it, about a year and a half, 2 years ago? Yeah, you've come such a long way. And the cool thing is that Andrew and I have actually not only decided to offer energetic attraction coaching at a lower price than ever before, but we're releasing a new version, a more elevated version that includes not just the energy of attracting the man into our life, but how to really embody that big king energy in the relationship when it really matters. Over the last year and a half, Andrew and I have done so much work on ourselves and experienced so many things where before our relationship was in a good spot, I feel like we've learned how to really have the keys to the kingdom and have that magnetic spark and intimacy where the passion and the connection and the mutual desire is stronger than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're really on the same page as two sovereign, independent gay men, not needing each other, but choosing to be together. Where I know that I don't need Andrew to survive or to be happy because I know how to create that within. And that's what we teach you at Energetic Attraction Coaching in a way that we've never been able to fully before. Even if you've done a previous version, this new version of EAC is going to be even more magnetic and powerful. I'm so excited to be sharing the things that we've learned over the last year and a half so that you can have it all as a thriving gay man. So here's why this matters so much to me, because this is exactly the tool that I wish I had earlier in my marriage. This is exactly what Andrew and I have had to learn the hard way. Personally, it breaks my heart to see so many gay men repeating the same cycles in their relationships, wondering why nothing is changing. Even though they're talking about it, bringing it up, and trying to work things out with their partner, they're still left asking, why is this not working? This is the tool. This is the process. This is the shift I wish every gay man had. What we teach you in energetic attraction coaching, the 3 pillars, this amazing 3-step process that takes you from where you are, it meets you wherever you are, and guides you to a full embodiment of your big king energy. So that as you graduate and as the months and years go by, you're continuing to implement and embody the tools and skills that you learn in this foundational, fundamental program. My desire is for you to no longer doubt your self-worth, to no longer wonder what's not working and why you can't experience fulfillment in every area of your life. My desire for you is to no longer feel underappreciated or unseen, to no longer feel insecure or nervous at social events, to no longer take it personal if someone's not interested in sleeping with you or dating you or being your partner, to trust in your worth no matter what's going on outside of you, and to be so clear of your vision and so embodied in your truth that you know it's happening. without attachments or expectations, to feel so comfortable saying no when you're aware that the person asking you for a favor might not want to be your friend if you don't please them, to break out of all of these caregiving patterns that don't serve you, to stop settling, to stop tolerating, to stop rationalizing behavior that's not serving you, to stop guarding your heart and closing your off to situations because you talk yourself out of things, because you're afraid of reliving pain from the past, to no longer doubt and question your worth and your value. My desire is to support you and every gay man to learn the tools and skills to embody their big king energy and create that thriving life and reality and relationship that you all deserve and desire, that you are capable of accessing. Everything that we've talked about today is already inside of you. It's the years of stories and fears and insecurities and doubts and challenges, real challenges that you faced that's blocking you from accessing that strength and that power. There's no reason why you can't have it all. There's no reason why you can't be the king of your kingdom with a thriving relationship as passionate and fiery and sexual and hot and amazing and reciprocal as what Andrew and I share. There's no reason why you can't have that other than the programming and the fears and the doubts that we help you dismantle, other than the lack of access to that security and trust in yourself that we help you build, other than the communication skills and tools that we've mastered and developed and have helped us have what we have today. This is available to you. It will require some work. It will require some effort. It will require an investment, a financial investment in yourself, in your life, in your future. But I can guarantee you that you are worth it. And I'm delighted at the opportunity of supporting you on this journey. I think 12 or 13 men have already stepped up and decided to join the new version of energetic attraction coaching that's starting in a few weeks. And right now we're offering it at the most affordable price that it will ever be. If you desire to take this step, I invite you to fill out this application, share with me and Andrew your specific challenges, your specific desires, and I invite you to chat with me to see if this feels like a good fit for you. Once you fill out the questionnaire, if you're open to investing in yourself, you'll be prompted to schedule a call with me where we can really dive into your unique situation and explore if this is the right fit for you. This is the work that is necessary, and this is why I am so committed to doing this work in our community.
Hmm. Yeah, this is such a passion project for us, and
Type energy in the
uh,
chat if you're interested. Type energy in the chat if you want to explore this for yourself.
yeah, we'd love to see. I just feel so honored that we've been able to do this work for 7 years now. 7 years, over over 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
And this all started because we both had a dream to help other gay men have what we had. And we both had our challenges as single people before we met each other. And we had tons of challenges after we got together. After we started coaching men on love and relationships, we started having lots of our own challenges. But I'm so happy we've stuck through it. We've stood in the fire. We can speak from experience in our own lives. We can speak from experience in coaching hundreds of guys, maybe even 1,000 guys one-on-one by now. And we're so honored and happy to offer this to you as a vehicle to help you accelerate your ability to have the kind of love life you've always wanted, that you've always thought possible, but weren't able to figure it out. Um, our hope for everyone is that when they make this investment in our flagship program, they think it's like the best investment they've made in their entire lives, if not way at the top, if not the absolute best. So we would absolutely love to have you. We also have an alumni community that's like a lifelong community that we've been building out because It's family. It really is family. And
It is.
we once we serve you, like we want to stay connected and have you be in our community for many, many years to
And
come.
we want you to be another success story, like the countless men who are now married or engaged or living with their partners, where before they had continuously fallen into these caregiving, people-pleasing, self-sacrificing patterns where they couldn't figure out why dating and relationships weren't going to work out for them. Sadly, they were telling themselves, maybe I'm just one of those guys that's meant to be single, but no one is. I'd love for you to be like Ed, who's now engaged to the first man he's ever dated and wildly in love with a man that he's living with, sharing his life with, where before couldn't break out of these patterns and find a connection that would honor and respect him.
Yeah.
But first, he had to learn how to honor and respect himself. There's so many unique challenges that we as gay men face that block us from embodying our big king energy. Years of programming, years of suppressing our needs and our desires, years of trying to be who we think other people want us to be, years of feeling rejected, feeling abandoned, feeling hurt, that cause us to block our hearts, to guard our hearts, that cause us to try to be who we think other people want us to be. Or like Ron, who's in his late 70s, living with his partner, sharing so much joy and connection with his partner that he's been with for 4 to 5 years. So many men have stepped up to do this work, and I would love for you to join this amazing community. So if this feels like something you'd like to explore, this is a free one-on-one conversation to really dive into if this is a good fit for you, and I would love to invite you to join us. Thank you all for being here with us today. I hope this has been helpful. Awareness is power, and our desire was to help give you the awareness of being able to see yourself in a more clear way, be able to identify when you're falling into these patterns. So if nothing else, you can pause and reflect and open yourself up to trying something different. And for those of you who want guidance, who want that one-on-one support, someone to check your blind spots, someone to teach you the specific tools and skills that all build off of one another to help you in rapid speed step into your big king energy and be able to uphold that energy, I invite you to fill out this questionnaire. I invite you to schedule a call, and I invite you to become another success story. Thank you all for being here. You are the king of your kingdom. It's been such a joy and honor, and bye for now.